man falls from 33,000 feet. Big deal.
Yes, but he was without a parachute. And it wasn't him, it was her. And she survived.
Oh.
January 26th, 1972. Routine commercial flight. 28 people on board. One person who shouldn't have been there. Only she leaves the crash site alive. Vesna Vulović was a Serbian flight attendant working for Yugoslav Airlines. On January 26, 1972, a scheduling mistake placed her on Flight 367, travelling from Stockholm to Belgrade. At an altitude of approximately 33,000 feet, the aircraft broke apart mid-air. It crashed near the village of Srpska Kamenica in what was then Czechoslovakia. Of the 28 people on board, she was the only survivor. She was later found by a local villager and former army medic, Bruno Honka, severely injured but alive.
That's impossible.
It sounds impossible, but several very specific factors quietly worked in her favor. It all started when the aircraft fell apart. Different sections then fell in very different ways. The tail section behaved differently almost immediately. As it fell, it rotated, increasing air resistance. It was lighter, with a much larger surface area relative to its mass. More drag meant a lower falling speed, and when it reached the ground, it didn't stop instantly. The slope below turned a sudden impact into a sliding deceleration. But the slope wasn't bare. Trees and snow slowed it down even more. Branches absorbed part of the remaining force. The snow reduced friction even further. Each factor on its own was small. Together, they stretched the impact over time.
So this is the story of how the tail survived the fall.
No, this is the story of Vesna Vulović. She was inside the tail. That's the only reason the way the tail fell mattered. All of that worked in her favor. But even then, surviving a fall like this was still extremely unlikely. Physics didn't make it safe. It only made survival barely possible. She suffered multiple fractures, a shattered spine, broken legs, broken ribs, a fractured skull, severe internal injuries, a long coma, months in hospital, temporarily paralyzed from the waist down. Doctors didn't expect her to walk again, but she did. She recovered, lived independently, and returned to a normal life. Surviving the fall was almost impossible. Recovering from it may have been even harder.
I bet planes became her worst nightmare.
Surprisingly, no. She flew again. Not as a flight attendant, but as a passenger. She didn't just survive the fall, she survived what came after. She died in 2016, in Belgrade, long after the accident, from natural causes.